Just a minute, guys. Yeah, thank you. Good. Yellow is it, sir? Projector problem. Fine. Yeah, good morning, Dharam. So as I was saying, unit 1 is introduction part where you just need to be aware of what is primitive and non-primitive data types. And I believe that you have already gone through those data types, primitive, non-primitive difference in the previous semester. Then linear and non-linear data structures. So if your data is stored in a sequential manner, look, I'm saying sequential manner, need not to be continuous memory. Just if your data is stored in a sequential manner, then you can say it is classified under linear data structure, because when you store your data in a sequential manner and you want to access something from that entire collection, then you have to traverse your data in a forward or backward manner. Okay, and that is what we can say a linear manner. So it is a linear data structure. Now, but in case if you have multiple branches at a particular place, so if you do have multiple options to select whether I should go for left or whether I should go for right, or maybe multiple branches, not left and right, but 3, 4, or 5 branches, then you cannot traverse that entire data structure in a single run, either forward or backward. You have to backtrack that thing to and fro. You'll go forward direction, then you'll come back, you'll select the next path, again you'll go for forward direction, you'll come back and you select the third path, and so on. If that is the case, we say it is a non-linear data structure. And the examples are tree and graph. So in that part, in that unit number 1, that's the introduction of this entire syllabus that we are going to cover. So what is array, what is stack, what is queue, what is linked list, what is tree, and what is graph. Just to make one picture in your mind, we have unit 1. And then starting from unit 2, what we are going to do here is we are going to pick those data structures one by one, and we will discuss those data structures in depth. And that's where you have started with linear data structure here. And the first one that we are about to consider here is the array, right? So you have already started array, but in this entire unit, what we will do is we'll go for array, stack, queue, and linked list. Array you have learned in previous semester, so we'll be a bit of in rush to complete this part, but we will cover how we can declare array, what are the important points when we are going for declaration part, or how we can assign elements at the time of declaration, how you pass your array to the function, and so on, how memory is allocated for arrays and all. And then we will have a look at few operations on the array, like traversing, searching, inserting an element, deleting an element from the array, merging two arrays, maybe it is sorted array or unsorted array, and so on. So those kind of operations we will see here. And then we'll move to stack and queue. Look, stack, keep your phone in a bag. I don't want anything on the desk. apart from your pen, book, or note-taking device. Yeah, sorry. So stack and queue. Stack can be built using array, using linked list, both. But we will have a look at stack using array first, because you are much familiar with array. Now, what is stack? So it is a last in, first out data structure, LIFO structure. So if you consider your array, let me give you some idea of stack, because I'm not going through the unit 1 here. You might have gone through it, but let's quickly cover it. So if you consider your array, then inside your array, one end is closed, only other end is open, from where you can insert or you can delete your data. And we call that end as a top. So everything that you perform will be performed on top. So we have to remember, where is my top pointing to right now? And combinedly, your array and top both will create a stack for you. Now, how to perform any operation on top? We are going to write algorithms or functions for that. And it gives you last in, first out behavior. जो डेटा आप लास्ट में ऊपर से एंटर करोगे, वही डेटा पहले ऊपर से निकलेगा. And that's why we call it a stack. Few examples of stacks, like stack of a book on your desk. आप नीचे से बुक नहीं हटा पाओगे, वरना पूरा स्टैक जो है वो गिर जाएगा. Stack of plates in some function at the, let's say, lunch or dinner counter. Now those are normal examples of stack. Other examples, if you want to have a look at, then undo and redo functionality in any of your software. When you undo, what happens? Whatever operation you have done at last will be undone. You undo for the second time, and the second last operation will be undone, and so on. So it is literally going in the backward direction of whatever operations you have performed till now. So whatever path you have followed, if you are going for the exact reverse path, then it is one kind of application of stack. Few other applications also we will see later. Okay, so that's what the stack is. Now next is queue. Now queue can also be built using array and linked list. And understanding queue is very much simple. Both the ends will be open. Insert will happen from the last. Delete will happen from the front. And so that we have to remember rear and front, two positions here. And the examples of queue, very simple. Let's say queue at a ticket window. मूवी देखने जाना है, टिकट लेना पड़ेगा. ऑनलाइन नहीं चल रहा है अभी. I don't have bank account, तो मुझे लाइन में खड़ा रहना पड़ेगा. So a ticket window queue. What happens when you reach at the place? You will be joining that queue at the end, right? And the person, whoever is standing at the front, will be the first one to get the ticket. So first in will be the first out. FIFO structure. First in, first out. So queue is nothing but FIFO structure. And we will see how we can build queue in this second unit. Okay. And to make it behave like first in, first out, we are going to write few algorithms and functions. So we will build our own queue. Now, एक बार अगर आप ये data structure बना लेते हो, if you create your data structure, stack or queue or linked list or something, then you can publish that data structure, or you can say that you can provide that file, that code to your friend, and your friend can use it. if I have created stack, then I can upload my stack file in the e-content, and you can download and directly you can use that stack file in your program if you want. But if I want कि भाई आपको ये पता ना चले कि अंदर मैंने क्या किया है, how I have handled all those things. And but if you open that file and if you are capable to understand, then you can do it. I don't care. But what is the primary need of your project or your program? You need last in first out. आपको ये चाहिए, और आपके पास टाइम नहीं है कि आप वो पूरा कोड लिखो, तो आप क्या करोगे, मेरा फाइल लेके इंक्लूड stack.h, जैसे आप stdio.h, conio.h करते हो, अगर मैंने ऐसा कोई हेडर फाइल बनाया है, आप क्या करोगे, यू विल इंक्लूड stack.h फाइल, एंड जैसे आप printf scanf यूज करते हो, सिमिलरली आप स्टैक के फंक्शंस पुश पॉप यूज करने लग जाओगे. So when you do that and you are not aware how internally I am handling your data, आपने पुश पॉप डिस्प्ले ये सारे फंक्शन यूज कर लिए और आपको कोई पड़ी नहीं है कि भाई मैं अंदर कैसे हैंडल करता हूं. As long as your data is being managed properly, you don't have any problem. तो आपके लिए वो हो जाएगा abstract. You are not knowing the internal structure, so it is abstract for you guys. Now when I publish this kind of a file, तो आप उसका variable कैसे declare करोगे? Whenever you want to declare a variable, you need to have a data type like integer I, float f, and so on. You have to have one variable to make use of that data type or variable or data structure, let's say. So you are going to have one variable for stack. आपको एक वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर करना पड़ेगा स्टैक के लिए, क्यू के लिए, whatever you want to use. So when you declare that variable, let's say stack के लिए s variable आप declare करते हो. Now what is stack? Stack is a combination of array and a top variable. What we have done? We need one array to store some data inside. Along with that, we need one top variable to maintain what is the top position. क्योंकि हर बार हम टॉप पे ऑपरेशन करेंगे, तो टॉप कहाँ पे है मुझे याद रखना पड़ेगा. Whether top is at index 0, index 1, 2, 3, where. तो जैसे ही नया डेटा आता है मैं वो टॉप जहाँ पे पॉइंट करता है वहाँ पे रख सकूं. एंड इफ आई वांट टू डिलीट सम डेटा, तो टॉप जहाँ पे पॉइंट कर रहा है वहाँ से मैं एक डेटा निकाल सकूं. So combinedly, this creates a stack. We'll discuss in depth also, but this is also a part of unit 1. That's why I'm going through this very quickly. So what we will do is we will actually create a structure. We'll create a structure because we need two members, one array and other top. So combinedly these two creates data structure. We create a structure here. C program का structure जो है आप create करोगे, right? तो जैसे ही आपको variable लेना है तो आप क्या करोगे, struct stack and then variable s. This is how we declare a variable of structure. Struct structure name and then variable name. So user has to declare a variable like this. आपको कुछ इस तरह से वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर करना पड़ेगा. इफ आई डोंट वांट यू टू नो कि भाई मैंने अंदर स्ट्रक्चर यूज किया है, तो मैं अपना खुद का एक डेटा टाइप बना दूंगा. मैं खुद का एक डेटा टाइप बना दूंगा. नाउ हाउ टू डू दैट आई विल टीच यू लेटर व्हेन वी सी द डेटा स्टैक डेटा स्ट्रक्चर. सो आई एम गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ न्यू डेटा टाइप called stack. Then what you can do is you can declare your variable like this, int I, similarly stack s. So for you, this stack is a data type now. आपके लिए वो एक डेटा टाइप हो गया, और आपको ये नहीं पता है कि वो डेटा टाइप अंदर से क्या है, अंदर से स्ट्रक्चर है या लिंक लिस्ट है या कुछ और यूज करता है. यू आर नॉट नोइंग दैट थिंग, सो इट इज एब्स्ट्रैक्ट डेटा टाइप फॉर यू. It is abstract data type, ADT. Now, abstract data type is considered it to be a bonus content for you guys because it is not a part of syllabus, but we are going to create everything as ADT. You will be writing entire code of stack, queue, linked list in a separate file. And to demonstrate that data structure, you will create another file. तो आपके लिए कुछ ऐसा हो जाएगा, you will have stack.h file which will contain the entire implementation of stack. And then you will have one more, let's say stack.c file which will actually demonstrate your stack. तो demonstration purpose के लिए आप क्या करोगे? You are going to have a menu driven program. Option दे दो. 1 for insert, 2 for delete, 3 for display, 4 to search, 5 to change, and so on. So user 1 2 3 4 5 में से option select करेगा. You will have a switch case to call a proper function and then display your answer. So because of this reason, we are going to use abstract data type. Inside your kind of a header file, you will define that thing, and inside your C file, you will include that file. Stack.h को आप include कर लोगे. Okay, so that we will do when we start stack, queue, and so on. So very quickly we have seen what is stack, what is queue, and how we will approach to these data structures. And the last one in this unit, linked list, is something like it is a list of your data, but it is not a continuous memory allocation, just like array. The problem with array is it requires continuous memory allocation. Okay, what if you do not have enough continuous memory? मान लो कि आपके पास इनफ मेमोरी अवेलेबल तो है, 8 GB रैम है आपके पीसी में, 8 GB में से 2 GB चलो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम खा गया, ठीक है. आपको सॉन्ग सुनते सुनते कोडिंग करना अच्छा लगता है, सो यू स्टार्टेड MP3 ऑल्सो. अनदर 500 MB, मान लो कि वो सॉफ्टवेयर खा गया, VLC या जो भी कुछ चल रहा है. This is just an example, so don't focus on that more, but just an example. वो 500 MB नहीं खाएगा, कम खाएगा, लेकिन let's take it. So मान लो कि कुछ सॉन्ग चल रहे हैं, it took 500 MB more. आप कोडिंग कर रहे हो, so one coding environment is also going through running, and it takes one more GB. Fine, you are just coding, you are not running your code. Okay, you haven't executed it. So मान लो कि आप VS Code यूज करते हो, तो VS Code ने और 1 GB खा लिया, अभी तक कोड रन नहीं हुआ. When you run your code, it will require more memory. And आपका फ्रेंड आ गया पेन ड्राइव लेके, भाई इसमें नई मूवी आई है, कॉपी कर ले. You will plug in that pen drive and you'll start copy and pasting process. A copy paste has a higher priority, so it will take more RAM. और मान लो कि वो ब्लू-रे डिस्क रिप फाइल है 2 GB की, it is copying right now. Let us take an example. All these processes are going simultaneously, but those processes has been started in a different time. अलग अलग टाइम पे वो स्टार्ट हुई. सो एट दैट टाइम ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम को जहां पे जगह मिली, उसने वो मेमोरी ऑक्यूपाई कर ली. बीच बीच में कहीं पे जगह खाली है आपके पास. सो इट इज समथिंग लाइक इनसाइड योर मेमोरी. ओके, इनिशियल ब्लॉक हैज बीन ऑक्यूपाइड बाय OS, then maybe here your MP3 is occupying your memory, then your VS Code is there, and so on. So here you have a free memory at this place, at this place, at this place. These are the free memory blocks. And then you go and run your code. आपने कोड लिख लिया, आपने वो कोड रन किया. Let us assume you require 1,000 student data to be stored in array. In array. So that array requires a continuous memory allocation for 1,000 students. And that much amount of memory is not free continuously at this place. This memory part is not enough to store that entire data. लेकिन जब आप कंट्रोल अल्ट डिलीट या टास्क मैनेजर ओपन करके देखोगे तो आपको दिखाएगा भाई ओके 1 GB यहाँ पे फ्री है एंड लेट्स से 200 MB यहाँ पे फ्री है, 400 MB यहाँ पे फ्री है. सो टोटल यू विल हैव ओके 1.6 GB इज फ्री. आप देखोगे साला यार OS क्या बोल रहा है, 1.6 GB is free and I cannot run my program. Because when you declare an array, it requires continuous memory which is not available. If you go to status, and you'll see, oh, 1.6 GB is free. Still, I cannot run my program. And the reason behind that is the only reason array requires continuous memory which is not available. Now, when this kind of problem occurs, you can overcome this problem using linked list. Now, what linked list says, जहां पे भी memory है लेके बैठ जाओ. You have certain amount of memory here, take it. Store your data. And then the next block will be stored in the next location, and the first block will remember the address of second location. First block is going to make a link to the next block, next location. So it's something like, अगर क्लास के अंदर जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं मैं बोलता हूँ, हर एक स्टूडेंट ये याद रखेगा कि उसके बाद कौन आता है. रोल नंबर 1 विल रिमेंबर रोल नंबर 2 कौन है, रोल नंबर 2 विल रिमेंबर 3 कौन है, एंड सो ऑन. And he is going to remember where that person is sitting right now. So I need not to arrange all the students in roll number wise sequence. एक एक करके स्टूडेंट क्लास में एंटर होते हैं तो उसको जहां पे भी जगह मिले वो बैठ जाए. मुझे पूरे क्लास को रोल नंबर वाइज सॉर्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. बट व्हेन आई स्टार्ट आस्किंग स्टूडेंट 1, तो वो बताएगा कि सर नेक्स्ट स्टूडेंट जो है वो लास्ट रो में सेकंड प्लेस पे बैठा है. नाउ दैट विल टेल मी सर थर्ड स्टूडेंट जो है वो फर्स्ट रो की सेकंड कॉलम में बैठा है, एंड सो ऑन. सो you are actually making a link starting from first student to the last student, and need not to be continuous. So that's one benefit of going for linked list. Wherever we have advantages, we have some disadvantages also. We need to remember those positions. हमें वो एड्रेस याद रखने होंगे. We need to maintain those addresses. Pointer आएगा, right? So we need to work with pointer, and to remember those addresses we need extra memory. Next, स्टूडेंट का प्लेस याद रखना है तो आप दिमाग में वो जब याद रखते हो, यू आर रिमेंबरिंग समथिंग एक्स्ट्रा. सिमिलरली इन अ प्रोग्राम हमें नेक्स्ट डेटा का जो एड्रेस है वो याद रखना पड़ेगा, तो एक्स्ट्रा मेमोरी हम ऑक्यूपाई करेंगे. Well, that's how linked list works. So we are linking all those data. It is called linked list. And the basic part of that linked list is a node. It is called node. And in the simplest form of any node, we can say there is one part for your data, where you can store your data, and there will be another part will be the reference, which will be the reference for next node. So your linked list will look something like, you will have your first node, okay, and in the reference part of that node you are going to have the address of second node. The second node reference part will have the address of third node, and so on. You will always remember the address of first node only. आपको सिर्फ पहले नोड का एड्रेस याद रखना है, एंड वी कॉल इट स्टार्ट और हेड. कुछ भी बोल लो चलेगा. So from the head I'll have the address of second node, right? Now from the second node I can have the address of third node. So अगर मुझे थर्ड नोड तक जाना है तो मैं हर बार स्टार्ट या तो फिर हेड से ही शुरुआत करूंगा. मैं एक एक को पूछूंगा, भाई तेरे बाद कौन आता है, उसके बाद कौन आता है, उसके बाद कौन आता है. सो आई कैन रीच अप टू द रिक्वायर्ड नोड, एंड द लास्ट नोड will store null value in the reference part. So it indicates this is the end of the list. इसके बाद कुछ नहीं आएगा. And you can have anything inside the data part, if whatever data you want to store there. So it is something like, अगर first node का address कुछ इस तरह से है 2030, then you are going to remember that 2030 address in your head. Your head will be the pointer variable, and you will store 2030 in that variable. Now let us assume the address of second node is something like 4000. Then we are going to remember that address 4000 in the reference part of first node. So it will be stored here. Okay. Similarly, if 3020 is the address of third node, then we will store it here. Okay. That's how linked list will be managed. And being a developer, we are going to handle this thing. अगर हम अपना लिंक लिस्ट बनाते हैं तो ये पूरा मैनेजमेंट जो है वो हमें करना है. सो इसके लिए जो कोड लिखेंगे वो हम लिखेंगे, राइट? सम अदर पर्सन इज गोइंग टू यूज इट, फाइन. ना वो अदर पर्सन क्या होगा? एनी सॉफ्टवेयर. लिंक लिस्ट इज बीइंग यूज्ड एट मल्टीपल प्लेसेस. इवन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम मेक्स यूज ऑफ लिंक लिस्ट. हार्ड डिस्क के अंदर जब आपका डेटा स्टोर होता है, फ्रेगमेंटेशन सुना है कभी? फ्रेगमेंटेड हार्ड डिस्क, आप उसको डीफ्रेगमेंट करते हो. फ्रेगमेंट मीन्स व्हाट? आपका डेटा जो है कंटिन्यूअस हार्ड डिस्क के अंदर स्पेस नहीं था, सो आपका डेटा का एक पार्ट कोई एक जगह पे है, दूसरा पार्ट दूसरी जगह पे है, एंड सो ऑन. सो योर डेटा इज फ्रेगमेंटेड. कभी कभी आपने अगर सुना हो कि आपका सिस्टम स्लो हो गया तो कोई बोलेगा उसको डीफ्रेगमेंट कर दे, हार्ड डिस्क को डीफ्रेगमेंट कर दे. डीफ्रेगमेंटेशन प्रोसेस क्या करता है? आपके डेटा को उठा के कोई एक जगह पे लाके रख देगा. जो अलग अलग पड़ा है वहां से लेके आओ, पूरा डेटा एक जगह पे इकट्ठा करके रख लो. डीफ्रेगमेंटेशन प्रोसेस. सो if your data is stored at different places in your hard disk, तो कभी ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ कि सॉन्ग बजते बजते बंद हो गया हो, मूवी चलते चलते अटक गया. Because operating system maintains that data in a linked list manner. आधा मूवी चला, बाद में उसको एड्रेस मिलेगा कि आधा पार्ट कहाँ पे पड़ा है. So operating system will go and fetch that other part of your movie, right? So that's how OS makes use of linked list. एक example दिया, काफी जगह पे है. Now you will learn data structures right now. Few applications of data structure in this semester in this subject. Later on in fourth semester you are going to have OS, operating system subject. तो उस सब्जेक्ट में आपको ज्यादा पता चलेगा कि कितने data structures कहाँ कहाँ use होते हैं. And that's why we have DS subject before OS subject. Now we need to learn what is data structure so that we can learn how it is being used in OS. Fine. Well, so let's go through arrays now. Okay. So we'll start with the array, and inside the array, we are going to have a look at representation of arrays, how we can declare, assign few values, element few, access few elements and all. We will also see storage structure and the application of array or operations of array. Along with that, we are also going to consider sparse matrix and its representation. Now, anyone knows what is sparse? Online students? Anyone knows what is sparse matrix? Matrix means two-dimensional array. That's what we call a matrix. Now, what is sparse and dense? What is sparse and a dense part or a matrix? No one knows? Yes? Correct. Okay. That's okay, Urvashi. Urvisha. What's your name? Hiren. Yeah, Hiren, you are almost right. The point here is when you say it's a two-dimensional array, let's take an example of 4 cross 4 array. How many elements you'll have? How many elements you will have in that matrix? 16. So you have total 16 elements where you can store your data. And when you say array, तो आपको उसकी memory तो मिली गई है. Declare हुआ, array declare किया तो memory allocate हो गई. Yeah, sorry guys. Just want to know, am I audible to all online students? Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, let's continue now. My screen is not shared right now. It's okay. We will be discussing few things. Okay. So we were discussing sparse and dense. So 4 cross 4 matrix will have 16 elements, and you have been allocated memory for those 16 elements. It's okay. What if you store only 5 values inside your array or the matrix? At random places, doesn't matter. So you are actually utilizing 5 elements. Other 11 elements are simply wasted. Now, if you are going for random places, then it does not have any specific name. But few other examples, let's say eigenvector, principal diagonal. If you are going to make one or only principal diagonal will have some values. Other elements are 0. Okay. Or maybe lower triangular matrix, upper triangular matrix, or maybe tri-diagonal matrix. all these are the examples of sparse matrix. Why sparse? Because you have less amount of data compared to let's say zero values. Okay, you have more number of zero elements than very few elements of having some data, and those are called sparse matrix. Dense is something like almost entire matrix is full with data. It is called dense. Sparse छोटा छोटा पड़ा है सब कुछ कहीं ना कहीं, जितनी स्पेस है उसके मुकाबले आपके पास डेटा कम है. वो एक साथ रहे या अलग अलग जगह पे रहे, डजेंट मैटर. कंपैरेटिवली जितनी स्पेस है उसके मुकाबले डेटा कम है, देन इट इज स्पार्स. And if you occupy entire space, then it is dense. Okay, so lower triangular, upper triangular, tridiagonal, or a diagonal matrix, all these are examples of sparse matrices. Now why we are going to consider it? Because let's say 4 cross 4 matrix you have, and you want it to become a, let's say you make it a unit matrix, or let's say diagonal matrix. तो आप सिर्फ प्रिंसिपल डायगोनल में 1 1 1 1 स्टोर करोगे, बाकी सब 0. व्हाई डू आई डू दैट? 4 वैल्यू स्टोर करने के लिए मैंने 16 एलिमेंट का एरे डिक्लेयर किया. आई एम सिंपली वेस्टिंग द मेमोरी. करेक्ट? बाकी के 11 एलिमेंट्स मैंने वेस्ट किए. I am not using that memory, and I am not letting other to use that memory also. So to optimize our software or our program, हम ये sparse matrix जिसका एक proper structure है उसको 1D array में store करेंगे, 1 dimensional array में store करेंगे. But when we convert it from 2 dimension to 1 dimension, we should have some kind of mapping there. तभी हमें पता चलेगा कि ये एलिमेंट एक्चुअली 2 डायमेंशन में कहाँ होगा. We need to remember, मैं स्टोर 1 डायमेंशन में करूंगा, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि मेरा प्रोग्राम जो है उसको 1 डायमेंशन मान ले. इट वॉज 2 डायमेंशनल पार्ट. फाइन. आप 2D या 3D में जो एक ऑब्जेक्ट है उसको डायमेंशन कम नहीं कर पाओगे, वरना डेटा कुछ ना कुछ तो इंफॉर्मेशन लॉस्ट हो जाएगी. वी कैन नॉट डू दैट. सो देयर मस्ट बी सम काइंड ऑफ मैपिंग विच इज गोइंग टू टेल अस कि 1D का जो एलिमेंट आया वो एक्चुअली 2D में कहाँ पे होगा. एंड दैट मैपिंग वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न हियर, एंड इट इज नथिंग बट रो मेजर ऑर्डर or column measure order or diagonal measure order. Fine. So that's why we are going to consider that topic also, a sparse matrix and its representation. Yeah, so any more queries till now? We haven't started array yet, but we have taken the overview of entire thing very quickly, whatever you have to know till now to start your second unit. Now what I suggest, again, go through the data structure playlist in a YouTube. You will find TC1 class recorded lectures. You can go through those lectures, and still after that, if you have any query, you can consult me. From now onwards, we will be going through the second unit, array and array operations. Okay? Anyone is saying taxi table? Yeah, some of you are asking channel name in YouTube. BT for BTech, CE2, Computer Engineering second year, live. BT CE2 live. Now, let me check if I can share my screen again. Then we will go through. Yeah, then we'll go through the content of array. Okay, I hope that you can see my screen now. Just online students, please, someone please confirm. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so let's go through the content because we do have still few minutes. So array, a structure of related data items, right? You store those data in a single array only if those are related. If everything is a roll number or everything is a marks, which is related to each other, right? It's a static entity, which means it has a fixed size. When you declare an array, you need to define size of that array, and size must be constant. Clear? So it is a fixed size. If you want to change the size, you have to redeclare your entire array. Dynamic memory allocation you can go for, but in that case also you reallocate memory. Okay, so existing array कभी छोटा या बड़ा नहीं होगा, उसके लिए नई मेमोरी अलोकेट होगी, आपका पुराना डेटा वहां पे ट्रांसफर होगा एंड आपको बड़ी स्पेस मिलेगी. Well, so array is always going to be the fixed size. Now, whenever we go for array, what we do, we group a consecutive memory locations. It's a continuous memory and it has the same name and same type. So array definition, you are always going for a collection of data having same data type. And this is how you define array in a single statement, right? Collection of data having same data type can be referred with a single name. So how do you declare? You need to have array name and array size, and then using data type, you can declare it. Now, how do you refer element? So you need array name and a position of that element. In terms of C program or programming language, we call it index. So in terms of array, we need index. And index will always start from 0. How it looks? So if you declare marks array, which is of integer data type, and the size of your array is 5, look, this need to be constant. Okay, size must be constant value. It can be number or it can be defined constant. आप हैश डिफाइन करके कुछ डिफाइन कर लो, और उस लेबल मैक्रो को यहाँ पे यूज कर लो, फाइन. But it must be constant and it must be integer. Float size is not possible. Okay. Well, so this is how we declare array. But when we declare this array and run this code, we will be having a continuous memory block allocated to us, labeled with marks array. As long as it is an array, we will have indexes starting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, up to size -1. So up to 4. And if you want to access those elements can be accessed by your variable name and into the square bracket index. So marks of 0, marks of 1, marks of 2, and so on. And if you assume that 2000 is the address of your array, starting position or the 0th element address, and you consider that integer requires 2 bytes, 32-bit OS, then the consecutive memory will be something like 2002, 2004, 2006, 2008, and so on, because it is a continuous memory allocation. So this is how you can represent your entire array. If you want to access any array element, then at the end, array element is like a simple variable. You can assign some data, you can access some data, you can perform any operation on that. So C of 0, you can assign some data 3. So that 3 will be stored in the 0th element. Or maybe you can access it and you can print it. You can perform any operation. Now, when you are using square bracket, it is nothing but a mathematical operation which results to some index value. आप वहां पे कुछ भी मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन लिख सकते हो, प्रोवाइडेड उसका आंसर कोई एक इंडेक्स वैल्यू होना चाहिए. So 5 minus 2 result will be 3, and 3 is a valid index, so it will work. So no problem there. We can perform few operations on indexes also, right? When we declare arrays, what we need to be aware of is we need to have one name for that array. We need to have the data type, integer, float, character, structure, whatever. Then the size of that array, so number of elements. Once you have these three things, this is the syntax of defining your entire array. First is the data type, then your array name, variable name, identifier, whatever you call, and then into the square bracket, size of your array, number of elements. That is the syntax, and these are few examples. Now, if you want to declare multiple arrays of same data type, just like other variables, you can have comma and second array. Integer a comma b, because a and b both are integers. Same way here, b and x both are integer array. So you can declare multiple arrays in a single line. Now at the time of declaration, if you want to assign few values, okay, at the time of declaration, if you want to assign few values, then you can. Array is a collection of multiple elements, and we are going to assign multiple values in a single shot, right? We are not writing multiple statements here. 5 वैल्यू एक साथ में assign करूंगा. It is only possible if you are assigning those values at the time of declaration. Remember, जब आपने array declare किया, at the same time, if you assign these values like this, it will work. But declare अलग से किया और अलग से आप assign करने जाओगे, then it will generate an error. It is not possible. Now, what is the syntax? Declaration syntax आपको पता है. just go for equals to sign, assignment operator, and into the curly bracket, you assign all the values separated by comma. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and done. So what it is going to do is it will allocate a memory for you having 5 elements, because we are declaring it to be a size of 5. So labeled with n and having indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And at the same time, we assign few values inside these elements, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this will be the final result of that statement. Okay. Now, look, what happens is, if you say integer n of 5 equals to 1, 2, and 3 only, it is not mandatory that you assign all the elements. What this statement will do, it will allocate a memory for 5 elements, label it with n, your variable name, indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then it is going to assign those values one by one. So 1 in the first element, 2 in the second element, 3 in the third element, and then there is no value given. In that case, remaining elements will be 0. Look, only in the case जब आप assign करते हो कुछ elements, तो बाकी के elements 0 होंगे. अगर आपने एक भी value assign नहीं की है, तो सारे के सारे elements garbage value रखेंगे, वो 0 नहीं होगा. Okay? Well, so this is the case, but using this fundaments, you can initialize your entire array with 0. Very simple. एक एलिमेंट 0 करो, बाकी के तो वैसे भी 0 हो जाएंगे. So this syntax, int n of 5 equals to curly bracket single 0, is actually going to make all the elements 0 inside your array. So a shortest form of initializing entire array having 0 values. Yeah, so you can also omit size of your array only if you assign few elements. Okay, so int n square bracket khali hai, focus here, square bracket is empty. Now it is only possible if you assign values at the time of declaration. And what program will do in this case, it is going to see how many values being assigned. That will be the size of the array. जितनी वैल्यू आप असाइन करोगे उतनी साइज वो ऑटोमेटिकली कंसीडर कर लेगा एरे की. सो इट इज गोइंग टू रेफर हाउ मेनी वैल्यूज वी हैव पास्ड. अगर 5 वैल्यू आपने असाइन किए, देन द साइज ऑफ दैट एरे इज गोइंग टू बी 5. यू कैन omit साइज ओनली इन दिस केस. याद रखना, अगर आप वैल्यू असाइन नहीं करते हो तो आपको साइज कंपल्सरी लिखनी पड़ेगी. Size is mandatory if you are not assigning values. Now we have one question. Asis is saying, sir, if we want to store alternate values in array, can we? Yeah, we can, but in that case we have to write a separate code. Inbuilt syntax जैसा कुछ नहीं है. अगर alternate values आपको store करनी है तो आपको एक loop चलानी पड़ेगी जहाँ पे आप loop control variable को 2 से increase करोगे. Instead of going for 1, you will increase it by 2 and then you will assign some values. So it will be done. Okay. Yeah, so this is how you declare your arrays. How can you pass your array to the function? Very simple. If you want to pass your entire array to the function, just use array name as a parameter. right? So to pass an array, you just need to use your array name without any brackets. So if my array is actually your array and you want to pass it inside your function, you will simply write my array, and it is going to pass your entire array to the function. Now remember, when you pass function to the when you pass array to the function, it is always called by reference. Why? Look, when you have array, you access the 0th element by index 0, square bracket 0, and if you want to have address of that 0th element, okay, then you use ampersand sign. It is the address operator, right? So this is how we can have address of 0th element. Now when you use array name only, it is also equivalent. Only array name is always going to give you 0th element index. So when you pass your array name as a parameter, you are actually passing address of the 0th element. Agar address pass karte ho, then definitely it is called by reference. Pointer pass kiya humne, right? Well, we will stop here, and from this part we are going to continue in the next lecture. Yeah, so can Om is asking how to pass 2D array. Just like this, you need to give array name. Doesn't matter whether it is 1D array or 2D array. On the other hand, जब आप अपना फंक्शन लिखते हो, वहां पे आपको एक स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट या 2 स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट करने पड़ेंगे based on the dimension, whether it is 1D or 2D. Okay, Om? Yeah. Okay, so thank you everyone. You may leave this meet and join the next one. See you in the next lecture.